Harlem, 1954. A man sits in a Cadillac worth more than the city block he's parked on. He is the most feared gangster in New York, a man who orders hits between sips of coffee. But on this hot afternoon, something breaks him. Not a bullet, not a judge, but a 5-year-old girl asking a single question. This is the untold story of the day the King of Harlem cried, and the secret that nearly destroyed him. The 12th of June, 1954, 2:14 in the afternoon. Lenox Avenue is baking under a sun so hot it feels like God himself is holding a magnifying glass over the city. The air is thick, smelling of exhaust fumes, fried fish, and melting tar. In the middle of the chaos, a jet-black Cadillac sits idling at a red light. The chrome grille gleams like a shark's teeth inside. The air is cool, conditioned, and quiet. Behind the wheel sits Ellsworth, Bumpy Johnson. He's wearing a tailored charcoal suit and a diamond pinky ring that flashes in the sunlight. He is the undisputed king, the man who went to war with the Italian mob and won, the man whose name is whispered in fear from the pool halls to the pulpit. But right now, at this red light, the king is just a man waiting for the color to change, his mind drifting to numbers and territory. Then a tap on the glass. It's a sound barely louder than a heartbeat. Bumpy turns his head slowly, expecting a beggar or a cop looking for a payoff. The window rolls down with a smooth electric hum. But looking back at him isn't a threat, it's a ghost. A little girl, no older than 5, with skin the color of mahogany and eyes that look like they've seen 100 years of sorrow. Her dress is torn, hanging off a frame so thin it looks like a strong wind could snap her in two. She grips the door frame with dirty fingers. She doesn't ask for a dime. She looks Bumpy Johnson dead in the eye, straight into the soul of the most dangerous man in New York, and she speaks. "Mister," her voice trembles, cracking with thirst. "My mama says you the good guy. Are you the good guy?" Bumpy freezes. The traffic light turns green. Horns blare behind him. The world keeps moving, but inside that Cadillac, time stops. He looks at this child, this starving scrap of humanity, and for the first time in decades, the mask slips, the gangster vanishes. The killer fades. Bumpy Johnson, the man of steel, feels a crack in his armor that threatens to shatter him completely. He stares at her, and suddenly, he isn't seeing a stranger. He is seeing a reflection of his own failure. And right there, in the middle of Lenox Avenue, with the city screaming around him, the King of Harlem puts his face in his hands and begins to weep. But to understand why a 5-year-old girl could bring a crime lord to his knees, you have to understand the war that was raging inside Bumpy Johnson's own house. You see, Bumpy was a man of contradictions. To the streets, he was a Robin Hood. He paid rents, he bought turkeys for Thanksgiving. He put kids through college. But Bumpy was also a merchant of death. The money in his pocket, the suit on his back, it was all built on the numbers racket, and increasingly on the white powder that was starting to flood the veins of the community heroine. It was a poison he sold, but a poison he swore would never touch his family. That was the iron law. But the streets don't care about your rules. The streets have a way of reaching over your garden walls and taking what they want, and the streets had taken Elise. Elise was Bumpy's daughter, his pride. She was supposed to be the one who lived the clean life he paid for with dirty money. But the addiction didn't care who her father was. It hooked her deep. She had vanished into the shadows of the city, lost in the haze of the needle, and word had reached Bumpy that she wasn't alone. She had given birth, a baby girl named Margaret. Bumpy's granddaughter, an infant born into the chaos, missing somewhere in the concrete jungle. So when that little girl tapped on his glass, Bumpy didn't just see a neighborhood kid. He saw Margaret. He saw his granddaughter starving. The realization hit him like a hollow point bullet. He controlled the blocks, the cops, and the judges, but he couldn't protect his own blood from the hell he helped create. Bumpy wipes the tears from his face. The sorrow hardens into a cold, terrifying resolve. He reaches into his jacket, pulling out a roll of bills thick enough to choke a horse. He hands the girl the whole roll. "Where's your mama, child?" Bumpy asks, his voice low and gravelly. She points to a stoop where a defeated woman sits. Bumpy steps out into the heat. The street goes quiet out of respect and fear. He walks over to the mother. "Get up," he commands. "You go to the grocery store. You buy everything you need. You pay your rent for 2 years. And tomorrow, you go to 116th Street. You tell them Bumpy sent you for a job." He leaves the woman stunned, clutching the money. But Bumpy is already moving. The door slams shut. The engine roars. The charity is over. The hunt has begun. He drives to his headquarters, the Flash Inn. He walks through the doors and the music stops. His lieutenants are laughing and counting money, but the laughter dies in their throats when they see his face. It's the look of a man who is about to burn the world down. "Listen to me," Bumpy barks, slamming his hand on the table. "Everything stops. The numbers, the collections. I don't care if the Italians are knocking on the front door. We are looking for Elise, and we are looking for the baby." The room is silent. "I saw a paper this morning," Bumpy continues, his voice shaking with rage. "Unidentified woman and child found dead in an alley in the Bronx. That ain't gonna be my grandbaby." You turn this city upside down. You kick down every door. You find my daughter. Or so, help me God, I will bury every single one of you. It wasn't a request. It was a mobilization. Within the hour, the Harlem underworld is moving like a singular organism. Hundreds of men fan out across the city. They aren't looking for money today. They are looking for a ghost. Bumpy takes the lead. He drives into the worst parts of town, the places where the streetlights are shot out. He walks into shooting galleries that smell of rotting flesh. He grabs dealers by the throat, pinning them against the wall. "Elise," he snarls, pressing the barrel of a .38 into their ribs. "Where is she?" Midnight approaches. A tip comes in, a whisper from a scared junkie. "There is a basement," he stammers. "Over on 112th Bad Place, Bumpy. I think I seen her there." Bumpy doesn't wait for backup. He drives to the condemned tenement. He kicks the front door open, the wood splintering. He descends the stairs into the basement, his footsteps echoing like Judgment Day. The scene he walks into is straight from hell. Bodies are strewn across dirty mattresses. The air is thick with smoke. Bumpy scans the room, and then he sees her. Elise, slumped in a corner, barely conscious, looking like a broken doll. Bumpy's heart shatters, but he rushes to her. "Elise," he whispers, "baby girl. Daddy's here," she groans, unintelligible. Bumpy looks around frantically. "Where is she? Where is the baby?" Elise raises a weak hand pointing toward a cardboard box near a leaking pipe. Bumpy moves. He crawls over the filth. He looks inside the box, and there, wrapped in dirty rags, silent and still, is Margaret. She is 3 weeks old, tiny, frail, her breathing shallow. Bumpy reaches in. His hands that have strangled men, hands that have counted millions in illegal cash, tremble as he scoops up the tiny bundle. She feels like a bird with a broken wing. He pulls her against his chest, shielding her from the horror. A dealer in the corner stands up, holding a knife, thinking someone is stealing his stash. "Hey," he slurs, "that is mine." Bumpy turns. He doesn't let go of the baby. The look on his face is not human. It is the face of a demon protecting a soul. "You take one more step," Bumpy says, his voice drop-dead calm, "and I will peel the skin from your body while you are still breathing." The dealer freezes. The knife clatters to the floor. Bumpy walks out, carrying Elise with one arm and cradling Margaret in the other. He drives them to safety, but as the doctors work through the night to stabilize the baby, Bumpy realizes he can fight the mob, but he cannot fight this addiction alone. He needs something stronger than money. He makes a call to a man rising in the streets, a man preaching discipline and self-respect. He calls Malcolm X, the gangster, and the minister Meade. "I can't save her, Red," Bumpy says, using Malcolm's old nickname. "The heroine, it's got her soul." Malcolm nods. "The nation has a place. We can help her, but she has to want it. And you have to let her go." A deal is struck. Elise is sent to rehabilitation. Bumpy and his wife may take over the care of Margaret. The King of Harlem becomes a father again, warming bottles and changing diapers at 3 fizz. But the law has a long memory. The federal government finally catches up with Bumpy Johnson. Narcotics conspiracy. The prosecutor points a finger at him in court. This man is a scourge. Look at his own daughter. If he destroys his own flesh and blood, imagine what he does to yours. Bumpy takes the hit. 15 years. Alcatraz, the Rock, for 10 years. Bumpy survives in a concrete cell by staring at the photos May sends him. Photos of Margaret walking, Margaret smiling, Margaret growing up. He talks to the pictures on the cold wall. Papa's coming home, he whispers. I promise. When the gates finally open in 1963, Bumpy walks out an older man. He goes straight home. Standing there is a healthy, sober woman, Elise, clean for a decade, and next to her, a 10-year-old girl with bright, intelligent eyes. Are you Pop? The girl asks. Bumpy drops to his knees. Yeah, baby, I am Pop. She runs into his arms, and for the first time, Ellsworth Johnson knows he has finally won a war. He beat the streets. He beat the addiction. He saved them. Before he died in 1968, sitting in a restaurant, clutching his chest, they say Bumpy looked peaceful. He knew his ledger was red with blood and crime, but he also knew he had one check in the pluses column that outshined everything else. He used to say, I've done a lot of bad things, but saving that baby, pulling her out of that box, that was the only thing I ever did that was truly worth doing. And the legacy. The little girl on the corner grew up to be a teacher, educating the children of Harlem for 40 years, and Margaret, the baby in the box. She became a social worker, dedicating her life to rescuing children from the same darkness her grandfather pulled her from. So when you hear the name Bumpy Johnson, don't just think about the guns. Think about the legacy. Think about the day the bad guy decided, just for one moment, to be the good guy. That's the real legend. And now you know.